Thank you for tuning in to the Black Money Tree Podcast, hosted by entrepreneur, investor, and philanthropist Jerome D. Love. We are committed to teaching you how to build wealth so that you can build your community. At the Black Money Tree, our goal is to empower wealth creation and create economic self-sufficiency in order to empower generations to come. Society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never enjoy. Season 1 is powered by Wells Fargo Bank. Welcome to the Black Money Tree Podcast.
Hello everybody, Sky Houston here for this episode, this special edition of the Black Money Tree. We're going to be having a conversation today with the CEO and founder of the Texas Black Expo with his newest project, the Black Money Tree. So hey, Jerome.
Hey, what's going on, Scott? Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to have you as part of the team.
Now, I'm excited to be on this side of the conversation. Jerome has his latest project, the Black Money Tree. So I'd love to get it started there, Jerome. Tell the viewers, what is the Black Money Tree?
Well, the Black Money Tree is a wealth development strategy, and it's designed to help individuals, particularly individuals within the Black community, to increase their net worth, to build their income. When you look at any of the negative disparities that face the Black community, whether it be high school dropout rates, prison populations, health disparities, there's one commonality, and that's money. Yeah. Some years ago, I think after Trayvon Martin or, all Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, we seeing all of these Black men and women being killed and seemingly no justice. And everybody goes to the internet and they make these posts and stuff like that. And certainly that's great to make your voice heard. It helps the powers that be to see the climate and what people are concerned about. But in the back of my mind, that's kind of like, is this really making a difference? And sometimes I feel like people feel like they've done something, but they really haven't. And at the core of all of these issues is money and economics. So it's been on my heart, and I just really wanted to help people in terms of building their wealth. A lot of people that I know that see what I do in terms of real estate and investing, they've asked me, Jerome, how do you do this? So I help other people, I've consulted other people, and several people have always asked me, when are you gonna write the book? You need to write the book. You need to do something. So I actually wrote the book about 4 years ago, but really didn't put it out because I didn't really know how I was gonna market it, how I was gonna brand it. It was really more a self-help book for really everyone. But then once I saw the response after George Floyd, and everyone once again was talking about the problem, but very few people was talking about the solution. So I say the climate is right. So I kind of rebranded it and made it specifically a book about closing the wealth gap and building wealth in the Black community. And thus we came up with the concept of the Black Money Tree, which is based upon a Greek proverb that says, society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they should never enjoy.
I really like that, especially in today's climate. I think recently it was 100 years, not celebrated, but we recognize 100 years since Black Wall Street existed, right? And I love the fact that you're taking the position now to reposition us as a community. So I also, just today on social media, read a quote from Tyler Perry that said, "Great men position for the future." So let me ask you this, going back a step, what are some things that you did in the past that put you in a position today to position us in the future?
Well, the biggest thing that I did was messed up a whole lot. I started my first business when I was 19. It was a clothing line. I really knew nothing about business. I was just excited. It was called Goo Gods. I was doing all these trade shows, ended up losing a bunch of money there. Then I started the Texas Black Expo at the ripe age of 24. Right around 2004. First year we was $100,000 in the hole. Second year we broke even, so that means we were still $100,000 in the hole. Year 3 we made a little bit of money, so we were able to pay back our debt, and it wasn't until year 4 that actually we made a little money and I actually got paid. So I learned a lot through all of those experiences. I learned about money management. I learned about the need for passive income. And I realized that there were so many people out there that were just like me. So the two primary components that we focus on with the Black Money Tree is entrepreneurship and real estate investment. Because when you look at any of your multi-billionaires, billionaires, the foundation of what they're doing, somewhere in their portfolio is a substantial real estate investment. And most of them are entrepreneurs. Very people are getting to that billionaire status working for someone else. Yeah. You hit that glass ceiling. So I wanted to help people to be able to build their wealth. On the entrepreneurship side, I just know that there were a lot of things that I did that I could have done better and that I just did not know because I had never been there. I didn't have really anyone training me, anyone mentoring me. So this was a way to help that community. And then once I started learning about real estate and investing, my goal was really to build a passive income, because one of the things you know about in entrepreneurship, your money sometimes, specifically when you're starting off, isn't as consistent as you would like it to be. So for me, I say I have to build a passive income that can help me during those downtimes, because when the money was funny, I was substitute teaching, I was delivering computers out in the hood to house. I was doing all kinds of little things that ultimately was taking me away from my business. And so I wanted to try to build wealth and create streams of income that could help me on my entrepreneurial journey, but it was also helping me to increase my net worth, and it was something that I knew that I could hand off to my children.
You made me think about a question, and what I really want to know is who can do this? Like, I heard you say it's built on entrepreneurship and wealth building, but who can actually do that? Who is this podcast for? Can anyone build wealth through real estate and entrepreneurship, or is it only for people who've been inclined that way already?
No, this is a system. I think there's a guy, his name is Dan Kennedy. He was a big marketing guru, and I studied him and done a lot of the marketing that you see that I put out is based upon his teachings. And one of the things that he taught was that most people market, and they market wrong because they're reading books that aren't relevant to them. So most of the books that we're reading is based upon how Nike built their brand, and McDonald's and all these big companies. But Nike and McDonald's can do some things that Sky Houston, Jerome Love, LHS Realty cannot do. So they can get a $1 million ad at a Super Bowl commercial just for branding. You can't afford to brand. When you do your marketing, you need to make the phone ring immediately because you got bills to pay. You don't have a line of credit with the bank and things of that nature. I'm saying all that to say there are a lot of wealth development programs out there to teach people about real estate investing, entrepreneurship, and all this type of stuff. But I think it's taught from a perspective that's really above people's head. It's not fundamental, just foundational, easy to implement stuff. So I created this. I started from nothing. My mom was a teacher. My dad was an aircraft mechanic. I didn't have a trust fund. I didn't have anything when I started. I just had a determination and a drive. So this program is for anyone that's desiring to build wealth. I think they kind of fall into two categories that I like to say. You have a lot of folk that's very successful, drive Range Rovers, live a big house, lawyers, doctors, or whatever, but they're spending money as fast as it's coming in. And if they stop working, their income stops. So like my dad would always say, that one paycheck from the poorhouse. That was what my dad used to say. Then you have other people that maybe not a doctor, not a lawyer, so they don't look as glamorous. They don't have the big house, they don't have the Range Rovers, but they want to have that stuff. But they're your teachers. They're the ones that's making $50,000, $60,000 a year. But if you make $60,000 a year and you spend $60,000 a year, you are in the same position fundamentally as the doctor that makes $500,000 a year and spends $500,000. Yeah. Both of you have no net worth and you broke. So it's to help those individuals that's on that hamster wheel of just working and hustling and trying to get ahead but never can seem to get there. It's a basic fundamental system to help you build wealth that centers around real estate investment and entrepreneurship.
Now, I want to know the real details on building my portfolio, getting into real estate. So, are those some of the things that you'll drop in this?
Yeah,
podcast?
I mean, wealth building is very simple.
Oh, wait, the man
Scott.
says it's so simple.
It is. I mean, listen, my dad always told me this. He said, Jerome, the key to having money is to spend less than you make. That's simple. Now, what my dad, he gave me the foundation. So we have the Black Money Tree, the 3 M's to building wealth.
Mm-hmm.
The first M is to make it. Second is to manage it. And then you got to multiply it.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad instilled in me a strong work ethic. So he taught me how to make money and to work hard. He also taught me with that statement I just made, how to manage it. You got to manage it in such a way where you spend less than you make. But what he didn't tell me was how to multiply it.
Yeah.
My dad taught me just to save. But the problem with that is prices are going up every day. In 1980, I think a stamp was maybe 25 cents, somewhere around that range. So if you had $1, you could get 4 stamps. But today, a stamp is what, 50 cents, maybe 60 cents? So your dollar is worth 50% less than what it was, hypothetically speaking. It changes depending upon, but the point is, costs are going up, but the value of your money is not unless you invest it. And when you put money in real estate, particularly, that's what I'm more familiar with. Your money, I tell people every house that I have is a bank account. So if I buy a house for $20,000, I spent $30,000 to fix it up. That's $50,000 that's in a bank account that pays me $1,000 a month. So what bank account do you know if you put $50,000 in it is going to give you $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year? That's multiplying your money. That's making your money grow. So my money's still there, but my money has increased in value. So if I ever get in a tight and I need to sell the house, I can get my $50,000 back. But guess what? It's going to be worth more than 50 because that house is appreciating in value. But in the meantime, it's giving me an income that's allowing me to take care of my family.
It sounds like a shifting of mentality, or even like getting a mentor on the go. Like when people are going to be able to tune into this podcast, they're going to get these nuggets that maybe they didn't get growing up, or they're not even getting now. Even in adulthood, would you say this is for all ages?
Oh, it's for everyone. It's funny you mentioned the mentor. So what we did, a lot of people ask, why did we use a tree? Well, a tree symbolizes stability, strength. There's 6 parts to a tree. So we broke down each one. One of the parts of a tree is the limbs. The limbs reaches out, right? That's what a mentor does. He reaches out to that next generation. He helps them. The limbs provide the shade. Shade provides comfort, right? So with me and all the businesses that I've had mentors that's right over my shoulder that's helping me in real estate. When I started speaking, people that can say, no, that's not gonna work. And for me, the Black Money Tree is a way for me to reach out, to help, to mentor, to train, to provide comfort for folk while they're trying to invest. Because the reality is you don't have to recreate the wheel. You can do what other people have done, and our systems are not, it's gonna take some hard work, because I did say it's simple. It is simple in general, but I don't believe in telling people you're gonna make money in your sleep and you're gonna make money zero down. Certainly that happens. There are people that have bought houses zero money down. Some people make money in their sleep and all that type of stuff, blah, 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 blah. But the reality is that's not systematic. It's not methodical. You don't have houses out there that you can get for zero down that's gonna double in value like they'll tell you on HGTV and all that type of stuff. That stuff is not systematic. Every now and again, I've had situations where I've had people in a desperate situation and they say, I just don't want the house anymore. And they pretty much gave me the house. I paid just, pay off the mortgage, fix it up, and I made $20,000, $30,000. I've done that before. But that's not something systematic. It's not something strategic. You can't go into MLS and put people that's desperate and giving their houses away. You can't search that criteria, It's just you get lucky. And the thing you'll find is once you kind of get in it and start working it, the lucky deals become more frequent, But if you're looking for a lucky deal, it just doesn't tend to manifest,
I think what I'm hearing and what I like is that this isn't just for realtors or people who are already in real estate. Anyone can be able to tune in to the Black Money Tree podcast and get your personal principles and experiences, and I really like that. But say if someone is tuning in and they have a different style of how they receive information, are you going to be pulling from other people, or give us an idea where we can look forward to on the podcast?
I'm really excited. Season 1 is shaping up very well. We have Eden Bridgman Skellner. Her dad is Junior Bridgman. Many people may not know that name. He's the 4th wealthiest NBA player of all time, next to Magic, Jordan, and LeBron. He owned, I think, close to 400 Chili's, Wendy's, and they now just bought Ebony magazine. So she's going to be talking to us about a lot of the things her dad taught her and just generational wealth in general. We have Ron DeVoe. Most people know Belle Biv DeVoe, New Edition, but he also has a real estate company in Atlanta now. So he's going to be sharing with us some of the stories of how he grew to build wealth, what he did when he first got money, and what he wished he would have known then, and how he makes money and teaches people to make money and building their wealth through real estate. We got Rashawn McDonald. I mean, we have so many folk that's going to be here. Some that may not have as much of a notable name, but I guarantee you they're doing some powerful things. If we bring them on the Black Money Tree, they have some powerful nuggets that's going to help the people build their wealth.
I love it. I love it. Money doesn't grow on trees. I know I've heard that growing up forever. You may have heard that, but what is your perspective on that? Does money grow on trees?
I think money does grow on trees, and at the Black Money Tree, we're going to teach people how to strategically plant seeds, plant trees that will allow their money to grow exponentially.
All right, well, you guys stay locked. We're going to talk a little bit more about what you can expect with the Black Money Tree podcast.
What is it that you really want? You see, me, I wanted a house. It took me about 20 years of sacrifice and hustling, but I finally got it. What is it that you want? You see, in order to get your goals, you got to be determined. What is it that you want, and what are you willing to go through in order to get there? That's a real question, and only you can answer that. If you've decided and you're determined that wealth and creating a lifestyle for you and your family is what you want, at the Black Money Tree, we're going to give you some tools to get you there.
Okay, Jerome, so you've been giving me some nuggets and things that we can look forward to with the Black Money Tree podcast. And I know you have to have some principles and things that really punch home what the Black Money Tree is about. So let me know, what are some of the principles you guys stand on?
Well, the Black Money Tree has, like I say, there are 2 primary focuses of the Black Money Tree: entrepreneurship and real estate investment. Now, our core values, if you will, that kind of fuels that, and it's kind of principles of wealth building in general and in entrepreneurship and real estate investing, there are 5 Ds. So the first one is discipline. If you're going to be a success in anything, you have to be disciplined. You have to come up with a plan and you got to stick to it. Then, of course, there has to be a certain level of delayed gratification. We're in a society that's consumer driven, that we want everything now. We got credit cards, so we can get stuff before we even have the money to pay for it. And many times that puts us in a hole. But we have to be disciplined enough to understand that I can't have everything I want right now. I may have to wait later. And you also got to be strategic. You got to have a plan for how you're going to get the things that you want. A lot of times we get all of this stuff, and for us now we're a success because we have the stuff. But the stuff is not a sign of success or a symbol of success. It's a reward of success. When you hit certain financial benchmarks, get yourself a new car, get yourself a new suit, whatever it is, and then that will kind of create momentum. Okay. If you say, okay, when I hit this financial benchmark, I'm getting a Range Rover. Once you hit that benchmark, now you reward yourself. Now you want to hit the next benchmark. The other 3 principles is determination. You have to be determined in life, business, whatever. Like I talked about my son, he plays basketball and he wants to make the team. So I have him running. I have him doing drills. He doesn't necessarily see exactly why he's doing it, but he's determined to make that team. So he's sticking through with the process. Then it's development. You got to be committed to developing yourself. Stuff changes. The world we live in changes.
10, 15 years ago, there was no such thing as Facebook or Instagram. So you got to educate yourself, read yourself, understand the latest trends of what's going on to develop your mind, to educate yourself so that you can be able to build more wealth. And then lastly is directed efforts. There has to be a reason why you're doing what you're doing. And in my motivational talks, I break down the word motivation. The root of the word motivation is motive, and motive is defined as a compelling reason to act. A compelling reason to act. And reason why many people stop their actions, they can't define why they're doing it. When you can't define why you're doing what you're doing, eventually you're going to stop. Yeah. So that's the fuel for the Black Money Tree. It's to see the Black community to prosper, to see the Black community thrive. It's to see our Black men no longer being shot down in the street. It's to see us not suffering disproportionately from health issues, not being on the lower end of the totem pole in so many areas. And all of that starts and ends with money, wealth, the power to change and choose your own destiny. And that's what comes with money. And that's what we're committed to with the Black Money Tree.
So Jerome, just a quick question about, if this doesn't happen, say if we do not do the Black Money Tree podcast, what will we be missing out on, or why is it important to have this platform?
Well, like I say, I think that for what I've seen, there's a lot of wealth development programs and strategies out there. Some of them are very good, some of them aren't. And I think that if we didn't do the Black Money Tree, that a lot of people out there that have the potential to be very wealthy, that have the potential to make a huge difference in the community, will not be able to live up to and manifest their destiny. Maslow talks about actualization. You know, I love that, man, because that's really the essence of the Black Money Tree. There are 5 levels before you actualize, i.e. living your purpose and destiny. And it ultimately, I believe, I haven't had sociology or psychology in a while, but I think it starts with your physiological needs. Then it's your safety and belonging needs. Then you have your sociological needs. And they kind of build on one another. So if you're not physically safe, you really don't care about having friends. But if you're physically safe, you feel secure, then you want to have a network. You want to have friends. And they kind of build. And then once you're physically safe, you have your social network. Now you're able to actualize. You can kind of think at another level. You're able to give back and do things within the community. And that's what we want to do with the Black Money Tree. When you look at, once again, any of the negative statistics, they tell you in the airplane, before you help your child, if the plane goes down, put on your mask first. You can't help anyone else if you can't help yourself. I remember when I started the Black Expo, good friend of mine, he's my mentor. He helped me in real estate, and he also helped me in Black Expo. Older guy, he was around the whole time. I told you we were $100,000 in the hole with Black Expo. He could see it coming before I did. And I never forget, he came to me about a month before the expo. He's like, Jerome, you good? You need anything? And you know, I'm just believing stuff is gonna happen. Yeah, I'm good. I got it. Then a couple weeks later, Jerome, you good? You need anything? And I said, yeah, I think I'm good. And then he came to me a week later, Jerome, you sure you're good? And I said, well, you know, it's getting a little tight right now. I think we might need a little money. He said, how much you need? You know, I say, well, I could probably use $10,000 to help us make it through the weekend. It's a true story. Get one of my mentors, not flashy. No one would have ever thought he had any money. He looked like, some people say he looked like a homeless man, you know, because he worked on houses. So he got holes in his shirt, paint stains here. He reached in his sock, pulled out $10,000 and gave it to me.
In his sock?
In his sock, you know. But bottom line is, he was able to help me. He was able to mentor me. But why was he able to help me? Because he had helped himself. He had his own portfolio of houses. He was good, and now he's looking out to try to help someone else. And far too many times, we have a lot of people out there in the community, the Black community. They have good hearts. They want to help other people. They want to help their children. They want to help other people within their community. But if they're struggling to survive themselves, how can they help someone else? But because he was already good, now he was able to help
me. And that's really, since I've kind of gotten myself established with my real estate, I'm really trying to help as many people as I can to grow and build their wealth, because that's the foundation of building a strong Black community, is to have people that are in a position that can take care of themselves, and then they can help someone else.
I love it. The Black Money Tree, helping myself first so that I can then help others. Well, this is your mentorship on the go. Take us wherever you are. Like he said, download the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Go follow so you don't miss a moment with the Black Money Tree podcast. Thank you again, Mr. Jerome D. Love.